Welcome to Sound and Fury. I'm Eric Wilford Watson, and that's all I have to say. Have a good night.
And I'm Hugh Frank, and Carly Simon once wrote a song about me.
Today we're going to actually have a very brief conversation about Justice League, the Zack Snyder Cut, or as it's officially known, Zack Snyder's Justice League, or as is also known, not Joss Whedon's Justice League, aka not what the studio wanted to do, but they gave him money to do it anyway, and it was interesting, and I have some thoughts.
AKA, I can't believe it's not Whedon.
So this movie seems like its existence is a middle finger to Joss Whedon. Like, the whole reason that HBO let Zack Snyder do this was just to go, "Hey Joss, this is what I think of your movie.
We're going to give you the finger for 4 hours."
But no, I am a fan of the DC Extended Universe movies. I really like Man of Steel. Batman v Superman was... I wanted to like it, but I kind of didn't. And the Justice League, I thought, was just, this could have been so good. Why did they have to rush it? And now I see what it would look like if they hadn't rushed it. And I dislike the theatrical cut more now that I've seen the Zack Snyder, what he actually intended from the beginning. It makes me dislike the theatrical cut more. I kind of liked it, but now I really don't like it now that I saw what it was supposed to be.
Who directed the Dawn of Justice movie?
Zack Snyder.
That was also Zack Snyder? Okay.
Yeah.
So his plan was to kill Superman and bring him back the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that didn't change.
No. Well, that's the thing. I mean, Superman, when he died, zero people thought that he was dead permanently.
Right.
Except for the fictional characters and
I don't think they believed it.
Yeah. But in the new Justice League movie, the opening does not begin with a CGI'd out mustache.
Well, that's good.
Completely gone. Zack Snyder doesn't use one frame that was filmed by Joss Whedon in the entire 4-hour Snyder Cut.
So it's not really a cut at all.
No, it's really just redoing the movie from scratch. Wow. There were some reshoots, but it's almost all what was left on the cutting room floor after Joss Whedon got his hands on it.
Wow.
The studio basically said to Joss, here's this 4-hour nightmare that we don't like, cut it in half and make it funny. And he took his bucket of money and said, okay, I can do that. He cut the movie in half, added some dumb jokes for $100 million, and voila, we got the Justice League in the theater.
So they didn't leave the part in about the Aquaman sitting on the lasso of truth? Because that was my favorite scene.
To be honest, I don't remember which scenes were cut, because I haven't watched the original version in quite some time. Other than some recent side-by-sides.
Is there a scene where Aquaman's sitting there and saying, man, I really love you guys, but I think we're going to fail. This isn't going to work. And then turns out he's sitting on the lasso of truth. Okay, yeah.
Maybe I'm scared because I'm meant to...
I think that was beautiful.
You say a word about this, you'll meet every piranha I know.
But they added one sequence.
Very Whedon-y.
They added one sequence that when I was watching it, I'm surprised to see it in a Snyder Cut. There's when they introduced the Flash, they have a really good sequence where the Flash rescues a woman in a car accident, and they play it jokey. He while he's saving the woman, he grabs a hot dog that's flying through the air out of a cart and puts it in his pocket for later. Just that seems very Joss Whedon. Just a little joke to slip in there.
Yeah.
Then when he goes into the pet store, he's like, I've been here all along, and he has the hot dog to feed the dogs.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So basically, they turned the Flash into Quicksilver from the Fox Marvel universe.
Sort of, yeah. They make him comic relief in the movie, and it works. The Flash was never a comedic character in the comic books, but he works as a comedic role in the Justice League movie.
Okay.
I know you haven't seen the new one, so I don't want to get too spoilery, but the story doesn't really change if you've seen the original Justice League movie. If you want new story elements, you're not going to get them in this. What you do get is the characters much more fleshed out, a more coherent story that makes more sense, and a more consistent tone with Batman v Superman and Man of Steel.
And Steppenwolf still takes you on a magic carpet ride.
On a magic carpet ride.
He does,
okay.
Which is the most important thing.
That is.
Also, you're introduced to Darkseid.
Oh.
And
do you join him?
That was what was in my head the whole time when he's talking. Darkseid is not in the theatrical cut.
The power of the dark side.
Darkseid is a villain. You probably guessed that by his name.
Yeah. He's kind of the Thanos of that universe,
More
right?
or less.
Like the big baddie?
Right. Steppenwolf works for Darkseid, but they don't really show you Darkseid in the theatrical cut.
I thought Steppenwolf worked for Geffen Records. Sorry. Keep going. Oh, well, then allow me to retort. No, but he was more spiky.
Yes, that is true.
He looked
they
cooler.
completely redesigned him in the Zack Snyder version, and it's a definite improvement, but the aesthetic changes aren't as important to me as the story sculpting. I won't say they added story, but they refined it and made it better.
Yeah.
They don't really add anything new, for the most part. They do sneak some new things in there, which are hit and miss, but the overall story just makes more sense. I will say I absolutely love the opening of the Snyder Cut. It kind of flashes back to when Superman's killed. He's got this gaping wound in his chest, and he's screaming his death scream, just "Ah!" Only not that's only ain't cool.
That's a little more Led Zeppelin-y than Steppenwolf, but there you go.
But when Superman dies, the vocal sound waves shoot out from his body and like knock people over and like travel thousands of miles, and they like for the first few minutes of the movie they're following these sound waves around the planet from it, and it's really cool effect.
So it's like Jack Black in The Pick of Destiny.
Exactly like that.
Okay.
Exactly like that.
Okay, gotcha.
But no, if you haven't seen the Snyder Cut, if you don't have HBO Max, if you're a DC fan at all, it's worth it. You see some Green Lanterns, which if you're a DC nerd was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You see Flash and Cyborg have actual character development. Cyborg was the biggest casualty of the Joss Whedon version. Cyborg's almost not in the theatrical Justice League.
Yeah.
But you actually
They
get
almost play him up more to be a villain at first. He's like kind of spooky in the Joss Whedon version. Mm-hmm. And then
he just doesn't have much to do. He's like, oh, I was in an accident, now I'm a robot, and I'm on the side of the Batman and the good guys, and that's all I do.
Everybody's got that story.
Yeah, I know, right? Who hasn't been mortally wounded and turned into a cyborg? I mean,
What is it, Tuesday already?
But in this movie, he actually, like, you learn about his family, you learn about his relationship with his father. There's actually a story there. They show him regretting what happened to him. They show him going through some pain, anguish, and growth as a character. He's an actual character.
And I've seen the scene of him becoming an android, too, or becoming a cyborg. It looks like really, really painful.
Yeah, it looks like it would suck. I wouldn't like it very much.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest criticism of the Snyder Cut is everything that happens after you see the word epilogue on the screen. If you stop the movie, the movie's broken up into several parts. If you stop the movie when you see the word epilogue and turn it off and walk away, you'll have a better experience.
Okay.
It's shot awkwardly. You could tell it was tacked on after the fact. It just doesn't work with the rest of the movie. It's like you can tell that it was filmed after he said, "Here, Zack Snyder, do whatever the hell you want."
Gotcha.
And he's like, "Yay, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want."
We're going into the Snyderverse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, sorry. Different film.
But no, I highly recommend it. But unless you're really a completionist, you can just stop where it says epilogue and you're not missing a whole lot. But it's not a perfect movie, but it is so much better than the theatrical cut. Unquestionably.
Just minus the epilogue.
Minus the epilogue.
All right. The epilogue of sadness and despair.
And they completely redid the music, too.
Oh.
Danny Elfman has nothing to do with the music in the Snyder Cut.
Oh. Hey, we just talked about that. So, yeah, is it still cool? Does it still have
It works.
that Danny Elfman theme kind of throughout for Batman? Or
Well, you hear the themes that are used in the other movies. When Wonder Woman's doing Wonder Woman, you hear the Wonder Woman music.
Okay.
When Superman comes back and he's doing Superman, you hear the Superman music. So they still do that, but the score is completely different otherwise.
Gotcha.
And I think in a good way.
Okay.
I'm going to tack on one other comment, is that Zack Snyder is not afraid to have his superheroes kill people.
Oh.
In the Joss Whedon cut, Wonder Woman throws some dude against a wall who's going to blow up a bank. There's a bunch of kids there. Wonder Woman, like, bulletproof wristband.
I always liked those. Like the original, who was Wonder Woman back in the 80s?
Linda Carter.
Linda Carter. Yes, I love the Linda Carter. Like, I always wanted to have those.
Yeah, and they do that. Yeah, it's great. But what they do in the Snyder Cut, Wonder Woman throws a regular human being who's a bad guy against the wall. In the Joss Whedon cut, they just show her throwing the guy. In the Zack Snyder cut, they continue to watch the guy hit the wall and his head splatter.
Oh.
So Wonder Woman kills people in this.
Nice. Okay.
And Steppenwolf, spoiler alert, she cuts his head off with a sword.
Sweet.
It is pretty sweet, actually.
All right.
It's Superman.
Sounds like she was born to be wild.
Superman is badass when he comes back. Steppenwolf has this big axe, and he's like, "I'm Mr. the Villain Guy," and he's like swinging his axe, and Superman goes, whoop, steps in there, and the blade hits his shoulder, and Superman just goes, "Not impressed," and then he shatters the axe,
as Superman will do.
Yeah, he's so cool. And they brought Black Suit Superman back.
Oh.
In the comics, after Superman died, I'm just geeking out. This is all this is. Zack Snyder has his indulgent 4-hour thing. This is my indulgent 12-minute thing, so just bear with me.
That's what she said.
Oh, no, it is not. Unless you're a fan of the 4-hour part. Sorry, Mom. So,
this is the epilogue. It can skip past.
Yeah, the video really actually ended 10 minutes ago. God, I forgot what I was talking about.
Something about Black Superman.
Oh, yes. In the comic book, when Superman died and came back to life, he had a black suit, which was explained in the comics as the color black will absorb sunlight more, and his power draws from the sun. And it's also kind of reflecting that it's a dark period, so he's wearing the black suit. You kind of have to earn back the bright, red and blue suit.
Okay.
In this movie, when he comes back from the dead, he's wearing the black suit. And it's badass. It really is. And I endorse 100% everything Zack Snyder did prior to the epilogue.
Okay.
So
now I just want to watch the epilogue and not the rest of the movie.
Just to be contrary, dick.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.